I'm Manuel Hernandez and welcome to Norwich City Central.
What's going on, Lewis? Norwich City Central here. Welcome back to another video reflecting on Norwich City's 4-1 loss to Atalanta. Atalanta, of course, are going to be playing in the Champions League next season after finishing third in Serie A. And Norwich City, it was a good test for them today against, a very good team in Italy and losing 4-1. Does that tell a reflection of how the game was? Atalanta, did they deserve to win by that scoreline? No, not at all. I thought Norwich City put in a really good performance, in particular in the first half. The second half we looked disorganised, probably due to the amount of subs, and then Atalanta were very clinical. Norwich City having more shots, probably more opportunities, but Atalanta were clinical, and in the Premier League, teams are going to be a lot more clinical than what they are in the Championship. But overall, a good test for Daniel Farke, and a lot of positives to take and a lot of lessons to learn, which is really important from a pre-season game. No injuries as well, which is always the most important thing from a pre-season. And yeah, the result, fortunately, doesn't really matter in a pre-season game. And yeah, some positives to take from the performance, in particular from Cantwell, who I thought was really impressive. But before I want to touch on the match reflection, I want to talk about VAR. And I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. I actually want to get a discussion going about VAR, and I'm talking about it on Twitter at the moment. So VAR was used at this game in Carrow Road. Obviously, VAR is going to be used in the Premier League next season. It's a very controversial topic, and it's going to cause controversy. I'm going to put a tweet up on the screen now. This is 100% true, and there will only be a message plus slash replay on the Norwich City big screen, on all big screens actually, in the Premier League, if a decision has been overturned. So what that means is, while a decision is being processed, while the referee is talking to it, there'll be no communication to the fans. And say the VAR decision doesn't overturn anything, there'll be no communication to the fans. That's so poor. The VAR, the whole point of it, and the reason why it's got to work, if it communicates to the fans inside the stadium. And for that not to be happening, it takes away the emotion, it takes away the fun, and that's really disappointing. There was an incident in this game. Of course, this is only a pre-season friendly, and it doesn't matter at all. But there was an incident in which Denny Shrubeni was headbutted in this game. It looked really clear, on the stream. And it went to VAR, but there was no communication on the big screen. There was no indication it was happening. It was only the ref putting his hand to his earpiece. And it took quite a while, and the two Norwich City players were over the ball, Kenny McLean and Emi Buendia. And they were really unhappy at how long it took for the refs to come and make a decision. And obviously that incident went ahead. And also there was an offside incident, but there was no communication that a VAR was taking place. And that's terrible for fans in the stadium. No replays and too slow, and it's going to cause controversy next season. I'd love to hear your thoughts about VAR and the tweet which was on screen earlier. But talking about the game, Todd Cantwell, wow, really impressive. I really liked his performance, in particular in the central areas. He moved to the right at some stages, and he wasn't influential, but in the central areas he looked fantastic. And of course, Marcus Jeeperman played, once he was introduced into this central attacking midfield role at Middlesbrough at home, he's never really been replaced. But Todd Cantwell in the central attacking midfield role looked really good. He looked athletic, some really nice flicks into Pookie, some really nice tricks, and took his goal really nicely as well. Great pass by Mo Leitner. He's got fantastic vision and great passer of the ball. And a nice ball into Todd Cantwell, who finishes and makes it 1-0. Norwich City played some great stuff in the first half. Teemu Pukki having a couple of good chances. Wasn't as sharp as he normally is. You can understand that in a pre-season game. But Norwich City looked really good. And what I loved about it is we kept our identity, not too many long balls forward, and played some beautiful fluid football. And Atalanta couldn't really cope with us, and that shows how promising we were. But then the game kind of all changed in the 45th minute. Tim Closer, a poor mistake by him, a dreadful pass across his own box. You're taught that from a young lesson, never to do that, and I'm sure he won't be making that same mistake again. And Muriel, who's a very dangerous and clinical striker, very well-known striker, makes it 1-1. And then in the second half, Norwich City didn't look too good. Looked a bit disorganised, and Atalanta were very clinical, and fair play to them. Muriel made it 2-1. As I said, there was an offside decision taking place, but there was no communications to the fan, which is going to cause controversy. And I've shared my views on that. I think there needs to be communication. And then in that second half, there was a lack of structure to our play. A lot of subs came on, the likes of Shrubeni, Patrick Roberts, Adam Ida, so many subs, and that's what I particularly like in the pre-season friendly, because it disrupts the rhythm of the game. And hopefully against Toulouse we don't make too many subs, because you just want to see the team play throughout the whole 90. And Atalanta were very clinical, making it 3-1 and then 4-1. And the fourth goal was interesting because, yes, it's in the 90th minute, but Norwich City played a really high line, and a simple through ball, and Barrow was in one-on-one for several times, and Norwich City like to play with a high line, so we're going to have to watch that in the Premier League, because teams will look to expose our high line. But overall, it's really good to see Norwich City back at Carrow Road. A 4-1 loss for Norwich City against a very good Atalanta team, and a lot of positives to take, especially from the first half performance. I still feel like we're one central defensive midfielder short. On Tom Triball's performance there, I thought he played well, but sometimes I'm not sure if he's dynamic enough. I do think we need cover in that central defensive midfield spot, and maybe it's a physically dominant central defensive midfielders, because we don't particularly have the tallest squads, and we've conceded a lot of set pieces. So we might need someone who's physically dominant. But overall, 4-1 loss, but a good run out for the boys. Love to hear your thoughts on VAR, and your thoughts on the tweet and how it's going to be used in the Premier League next season. And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching this match reflection. Norwich City 1, Atalanta 4. It's great to see Norwich City back at Carrow Road, and I can't wait for the start of the Premier League season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.